Welcome everyone once again to our class. And today we will be continuing the chapter Life Processes, which we had already started. This is part 2 of the chapter, and I hope you all have understood everything that I've taught you in part 1. As we are going to start this chapter, I want all of you to please take out your pen and pencil and write down everything that is important. Also, if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your like, your share, and your subscribe will give me motivation to teach you better. Okay, so let's get started with the continuation. As we had learned about the nutrition in human beings, that first our food goes to the mouth. That means, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. These 5 are the important steps of nutrition, right? Now, firstly, the food enters our body through the mouth. And from the mouth, we chew it and then we swallow it, and it passes down through the esophagus. And then in the stomach it reaches, and there different types of enzymes act on it, and then it goes to small intestine. Again, different enzymes act on it. Then it is absorbed by the body, and whatever waste is there, it goes to the large intestine, where extra water, whatever can be used, is extracted, and the rest waste material is sent to the rectum, which later gets filled, and it all the waste materials that have been stored comes out through the anus. Now, we also learned the types of organs, that is accessory organs and alimentary canal. We know that the food is passed down through all those organs, and accessory organs are those organs through which food is not passed, but it helps in digestion. Okay, now we'll be moving forward. We will learn about the organs step by step. First, we'll go to the part of our body that is mouth. Okay, we all know what is mouth, right? Or it is also called as buccal cavity. You can see this is the mouth, right? Now, have you ever wondered that sometimes when you see some food material or some dish that your mom has prepared and you like it a lot, so what happens? Your mouth waters, right? So what is that water? Is it purely water? That watery thing that you think, that liquid, is a fluid. That fluid is saliva. Okay, your mouth not only chews food, but it performs some very important things that we are going to learn. So now see, what did I tell you? That your mouth water, that means there is a fluid that is called saliva. So from where is this saliva coming? Saliva is produced from the salivary glands, okay, that is present in your mouth side. Now, see, it is very important. You might think, okay, it's just saliva. What's important in this? But it plays a very vital role. See, if there is no saliva, you'll not be able to even swallow your food. Okay? What happens is, because of saliva, when you eat food, the saliva gets mixed up with the food. Okay? When it mixes, it softens, okay? And in your food, what is present, like whatever you eat, it has starch in it. It helps in the breakdown of complex molecules to simpler one. Saliva helps in breakdown of complex molecules into simpler substances. So this is the first, first breakdown is already done in your mouth, okay, through your saliva. The saliva that is produced is very important. Now, the starch that your food contains, right, it is broken down into simple sugar by the help of this saliva. Okay, not only you chew the food in your mouth, but first breakdown of food is already done in your mouth. I hope this much is clear. You take the food in your mouth, you chew it, right? The saliva gets mixed with the food. The first breakdown is already done. Starch is broken down into simple sugar, right? And after that, you swallow it. And then it goes to the esophagus, that is your food pipe. But one very important thing is that what is present in saliva, that it helps in the breakdown of uh, starch into simple sugar, right? So let's learn about this. Look here. Can you see this diagram? Okay, I'll draw it here, okay? Suppose these are complex molecules, okay? With the help of the enzyme that is present in your saliva, it is called as amylase. With the help of this, starch is broken down into simple molecules or simple sugar. Like this. So, saliva contains an enzyme that is amylase, and that helps in the breakdown of starch into simple sugar. See, you already know that our body cannot absorb food directly. Okay, whatever you eat, that is complex. Those are complex molecules, and that cannot be digested by our body. So, different types of enzymes, chemicals, okay, in simple words. So different types of enzymes act on the food to break it down into simple molecules. Only then the food is digested, absorbed by our body. Okay, because if the complex molecules are not broken down, our body will not be able to absorb any nutrients. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you. Let's Okay, one more thing, our tongue help us in talking also, okay? And saliva helps in swallowing also. Because just think, if your throat is very dry, okay, if your mouth is full dry, are you able to swallow something easily? No, it's hard, right? So remember that point. Now see, let's go to esophagus. See, what is esophagus? Esophagus is also called as food pipe, okay? It is a long passage through which food is passed down. Okay, here food is not stored, it is just a long passage through which food is passed down. Okay, esophagus, right? It has one important thing. You might just think, okay, food is just being passed down, but that's not it. Okay, esophagus has muscles, okay, and those muscles, they contract, they rhythmically contract, and when they contract, what happens, it helps to push the food downwards towards the stomach. Okay, so when they contract, what happens, the muscles of the esophagus contract and relax. Okay, when they contract, they push the food downside forward. Okay, and because of the contraction and relaxation, the food is able to pass down, and that is also called as peristaltic movement. Okay, I'll just make you write it down so that it will be clear for you. The muscles in the esophagus contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. And this type of movement is also called as peristaltic movement. So throughout our alimentary canal, you can see somewhere or the other, this movement is done. Okay. Now, as we are done with esophagus, we will go to the next part, and that is what? Stomach. Okay. So esophagus, the food is passed down from esophagus to the stomach. First of all, the first thing about stomach is it is J-shaped. And it is the widest part in the alimentary canal. Now see, in the alimentary, from the esophagus, food comes to the stomach. Okay. Now, whenever the food will come, the stomach will get wider. Just like you take a bag, when you don't put anything in it, it is just normal. But when you put something, it gets little, fluffy or wide, right? Same way in stomach also, what happens? Stomach expands. Okay, what does stomach do? Stomach expands when food enters. Okay. Stomach gets expanded when food enters in it. Okay. So when food enters, it will expand. Okay. So the muscular valves of the stomach, right? They just like our mouth. Okay. It helps the food to mix with saliva. It chews them, right? Same way, even in our stomach, the valves of the stomach, right? It helps in mixing the food with all the digestive juices. Okay, because digestive juices are what? They're enzymes. And what do? They help in breaking down complex molecules into simpler ones and other uses. Okay, so the valves of the stomach, they help in mixing the food with the digestive juices. I hope that is very clear to you. Make you write it down. Okay, valves of stomach help in mixing the food with digestive juices. Now, let's learn about the digestive juices. See, before we go to this digestive juices, I want you to just know that there are some enzymes that are very important. Okay. For example, hydrochloric acid that you already know, and pepsin, and the third will be mucus. I want you to remember these three names. Firstly is hydrochloric acid, second is pepsin, and third is, what was it? Mucus. Yes. Okay. Okay. So in the stomach, what happens is there are gastric gland present. In the stomach, what is present? Gastric glands. Okay. Oh, sorry. Gastric glands are present in the stomach. So, because in the walls of the stomach, these are the walls of the stomach, right? Gastric glands are present in these walls, okay? Now, these gastric glands release hydrochloric acid, mucus, and pepsin. Now, pepsin is what? It is an enzyme which will break down protein into simpler molecules, okay? Gastric gland has three main enzymes that will be released. First is hydrochloric acid. It is acid. Okay. So it makes the atmosphere acidic. And what happens if there is too much of acidity? Is it healthy? It isn't. Okay. Because hydrochloric acid is strong, it can even cause, holes in your stomach. So to protect your stomach from that, there is a layer of mucus. So what does mucus do? It protects the lining of the stomach. This whole lining will be protected with the help of mucus. Otherwise, just think your stomach has holes, everything is coming out like this. Will you like it? No, right? So this mucus prevents the lining of the stomach, okay, and it helps in protection from the acidic reaction. Okay, so gastric glands, where are they present? They are present on the walls of the stomach. Okay, what do they release? They release three enzymes, like I already told you. HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, mucus, and number three is pepsin. Now see, remember that pepsin is an enzyme which helps in breaking down protein into simple molecules. Okay, because if it is complex, our body cannot use it. So pepsin will break down protein into simple molecules, that type of substances that will be able to be digested, absorbed by our body. Now, only when HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, is released in the stomach, only then this pepsin can act on the protein. Okay, so this HCl will facilitate the action of pepsin. That means HCl will allow, HCl will make such an environment that pepsin will be able to act on it. Okay, act on the protein. I hope this much is clear to you. And mucus, what does it do? It protects the lining of the stomach. You might think that, okay, we know that mucus protects the lining of the stomach. Pepsin helps in breaking down protein. But what does HCl do? Does it only facilitate the enzyme pepsin? But it is more than that. Okay, HCl has many uses. First of all, HCl helps in breaking down bigger particles into smaller ones. Okay, then second is, yes, it will help in making an environment such that the pepsin will be able to act on protein and it will be able to break it. Third is, it kills germs. If in your stomach there are germs or bacteria or things that are harmful for you that you consumed in your food and it has reached your stomach, the hydrochloric acid will kill them. Okay, so it is very important. And acids work only, many enzymes work only because HCl creates an acidic medium. Okay, because it's acidic, it will create an environment which will also be acidic. Only then the other digestive juices will be able to function. Got it? I hope this much is very clear. It might seem a little difficult, so I'll just give you one more time recap. First of all, HCl, it helps in breaking down bigger particles into smaller one, kills germ. It makes the acid it makes the stomach acidic. It makes the environment of the stomach acidic movement, which will help the protein to be broken down into simple molecules by the enzyme pepsin. And mucus will protect the lining of the stomach. Okay. With that, we are done with stomach. Now, after the stomach, where will the food go? It will go to the small intestine and we'll learn about that. Before we go to small intestine, we need to learn about liver and pancreas because they play a very important role in the digestion process. Okay, now see. In liver, the food does not go in liver, right? So how is it important? It is an accessory organ. I want to remind you that, okay? Liver is located in the upper right part of your body, okay? Upper right part of your abdomen, okay? So what does liver do? See, Liver is the largest gland in the body. Please remember that, okay? In many times, in GK also it's asked, and it's a universal question. So, which is the largest gland in your body? It is the liver, okay? Largest gland in the body. Now, see, what does liver help in? It helps in producing bile juice, okay? It secretes or produces bile juice. And this bile juice is really important. It is yellowish green in color, okay, like yellowish green type of fluid, okay. And this bile juice is stored in the gallbladder. Can you see this gallbladder, right? So this bile juice, which helps, I'll tell you how it helps, okay. So bile juice is stored in gallbladder. Now, what does bile juice help in? It does not digest the food, okay? But what does it help in is that it does not even contain a digestive enzyme, okay? But see, usually when the food from stomach comes to the small intestine, the fat is in like large globules, okay? It is large and complex in the form of large and complex globules, okay. So what happens now is that with the help of this bile salt, this bile juice acts on this fat and it makes it into smaller globules, okay. So this is a very important function of the bile juice, okay. Otherwise, it cannot be further digested in our body if this is not done. So breakdown of fats from conversion of fats from large globule to smaller globule is very important, okay. I don't know why I'm stammering, I'm sorry for that. Globule, okay. So large globule is broken down into smaller globule by the help of bile juice that is produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Now, there is a very important word here that you need to remember, that is emulsification. Let me make you write it down, okay? Write on the question, what is emulsification? Answer, bile salt helps in breaking down fats into smaller droplets. I think instead of writing globule, you can write droplets also, or you can write globule. Whatever you feel is easier for you, you can write that. Okay. So bile salt helps in digestion by breaking down fats, larger globules, bigger globules into smaller droplets of fat. Okay. Emulsification will also, increase the surface area of the for the action of other enzymes that we are going to learn. Okay, but this emulsification is very important. So please remember the term emulsification. Okay, that means bile salt helps in digestion by breaking down big big globules of fats into smaller droplets or smaller globules. Now with that, let's go to the next thing, is that pancreas, okay? Now pancreas produces pancreatic juice or secretes, sorry. secretes pancreatic juices, okay, or juice, whatever you want to say. Now see, the pancreatic juice contains three types of enzymes which are really important for you to remember. The pancreatic juice, it contains three types of enzymes. First is trypsin. Okay, what does trypsin do? It helps in breaking down or digesting proteins. Number two, amylase. Like we learned, it helps in breaking down starch into simple sugar. Same way here, it helps down in breaking carbohydrate into simpler molecules, okay, which can be digested by our body. And third is lipase. Lipase, what does it do? See, had made the big globules into small fat globules, right? Now, now this lipase will break it into further. It will break down into further smaller particles, smaller substances which can be digested by our body or which can be absorbed by our body. Okay. So what does pancreatic juice contain? Contains, number one is trypsin. Number two is lipase. And number three is amylase. Please remember that trypsin is useful for digesting proteins. Okay. Lipase for breaking down emulsified fats for digesting, or an amylase for digesting starch or carbohydrate. Okay. So I hope this much is clear to you. Now we'll move to the next part, that is small intestine, because and all these we were studying for that only, okay, because all these enzymes will be coming from the liver and from the pancreas, where to the small intestine. So let's learn it. Now see, small intestine is the place where the complete digestion of food takes place. Everything, see, in your mouth it was digested a little because it was broken down from starch to simple sugar. Then through your esophagus it went to your stomach. Again it was digested with the help of hydrochloric acid, pepsin, right? Now when the food will come from stomach to small intestine, here in small intestine it will be completely digested. So this is a site of complete digestion, site of complete digestion. Now see, the food that will come from the stomach, no, we know that stomach had HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. So when the food will come from stomach to the small intestine, it will be acidic. The food will be acidic in nature. So what will happen is that bile juice will act on it and it will make it alkaline. Because if it's too much acidic, is it good? No, right? So it will make, the bile juice will convert the acidic food into alkaline nature. Okay? Okay. Now, the juices from liver and pancreas will come in this place, small intestine. Okay. First of all, what will happen is that the bile juice will act and make it alkaline, and then again, bile juice will act on the fats. Because we know that it is in bigger globule, so it will make it into smaller globule. Okay, it will break the fats down. After this, the job of bile juice is done, finished. Now what will happen? Pancreatic juice will start acting. And we know that in pancreatic juice, there were three types, right? Trypsin, lipase, and amylase. Also remember that even the small intestines walls have some digestive juices. Okay, so trypsin, what will it do? It will break proteins. It will try to digest the proteins. Lipase will try to digest the emulsified fats, and amylase will try to digest the carbohydrate. Now see, what will happen is that I'll just erase this part, okay? I hope you have written it. Also remember, small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal, okay? Longest part of alimentary canal. And it is coiled. It is coiled. It is of several meters, but you know, when you just fold something like this and you keep it like thread, right? We keep it like this. We coil it like this and keep it. When we open it, it's so long, right? Same way, small intestine is also very long, but it is coiled. It measures up to several meters. For herbivores, it's shorter. I mean, it's longer, but for carnivores, it's shorter. And I'll tell you the reason later. Okay. First, we know that pancreatic juices will act, bile juices will act, and then what will happen? The walls of the small intestine also have juices. They will also act on the food, okay? So because of the juices that we are acting on that food, there will be complete digestion of protein, fats, and carbohydrate. Okay, complete digestion of these. So protein will be converted into amino acids. Fats will be converted into fatty acids or glycerol. And carbohydrate will be converted to glucose. Please remember this, it is important. Protein to amino acids, fats to fatty acids, carbohydrate to glucose. Okay, like that, there will be complete, now they are completely being broken down, being digested. Now, what will happen in the walls of the small intestine? There are hair-like structure, okay? Hair-like structure present. Those are called villi, or these are the hair-like projection, okay? Structure or position. They will help in absorbing all the foods from the walls of the small intestine. They'll help in absorbing it, and then it will be transferred to the blood vessels, and then all the food will reach all the parts of our body like that, okay, through the blood vessels, because the food will get mixed up in our blood. Okay, is that okay? I think that much is clear to you. And the rest of the waste material will be sent to the large intestine. Now see, these are important, okay, Willy? So I'll make you write down. What are these? These are hair-like projections, okay? Where are they found? So they are hair-like projections found in the walls of the small intestine. What do? They help in absorption of the nutrients, and they increase the surface area of the stomach, of the small intestine. They help in increasing the surface area of small intestine for better absorption. Small intestine. For better absorption of food. Okay, or nutrients, whatever, of digested food And then what happens when it is the food is taken to the blood vessels, and from the blood vessels it is transferred to all the parts of our body, and that's how we gain nutrition, we gain energy. Our body repairs the tissues of our body, it helps in growth and development, like that. Okay, now we already know that now whatever the waste is there, it goes to the large intestine. So in large intestine, what happens? Whatever the food is sent, from here water is extracted from the food. Whatever useful water can be used, it is extracted from the matter. Okay. And then after it has been extracted, it will be sent to the rectum, where the waste materials will be stored. And then it will be thrown out of the body through the anus. Okay, all the undigested waste, it will be thrown out of the body through the anus. And that's how the nutrition in human beings takes place. The 5 things that we learned is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. So this by anus is done egestion. Okay, that means removal of waste material from the body. I hope you can write it down by yourself, because I've just told you that removal of waste from the body is called egestion. Okay, and it is done through the anus. Like that, we are done with this video. And I hope you all understood whatever I've taught you. If you have any doubt, anything that you want to ask, you can write it down in the comment section and I will answer all of your questions. Also, I hope you understood everything that I taught. If you liked the video, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the upcoming video. Thank you.